Hi everyone. So I just want to jump on here real quick to give a quick word of encouragement to somebody. I don't know who this is for, but I believe it's for really anyone who comes across this video. So I just got done reading through the book of Esther, and the Lord really just took me through it in like a day because it's not really that much of a long book in the Bible. There's only 10 chapters. So the Lord was leading me um on my fast, and he's like, I want you to read Esther. And I was like, all right. So I read through Esther, and for those of you who are not familiar with Esther, Esther was she was a Jew who became a queen, and she saved her people from being killed. And she had a cousin named Mordecai, and Mordecai was saying, that, oh, we're gonna die because, he angered somebody, and he angered like somebody in like I think it was like the like in royalty, and they they didn't know what to do with him, so they're like, I'm gonna kill him, and I'm gonna kill every single Jew because he doesn't bow down to me. So so Mordecai went to Esther, and this was around when she became queen. Esther became queen, and Mordecai went to her, and he was like, "You need to tell the king." He's like, "You need to tell the king that um, about what's gonna happen to me, and this is gonna happen to you too." He's like, when this law is gonna be issued out, when these orders and commands are gonna happen, you're gonna die as well as I will. So in chapter 4, verse 14, it says, "For if you remain completely silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" So, with the end of that verse, I don't know if you guys have noticed, a lot of people on social media, they do put that verse on their posts and stuff like that to encourage people, hey, maybe you were made for such a time as this. And truly, I believe that's the word that the Lord wants me to push out like right now, and to like a lot of you may not understand, why were you born like at this time on the earth? Why were you chosen to have maybe a specific job? Maybe why were you chosen to be where you are at in the world? Maybe you moved from like house to house. Maybe you moved from like a certain place, like a different country. And maybe you're just like, Lord, why am I here? And maybe the Lord has called you to do that and to be in that place. Maybe the Lord has called you to be in that specific spot for such a time as that you are now. Maybe there is somebody that you need to speak to, and if you're unsure of that, talk to God and ask God, God, what am I here for? Like really ask him and say, what's my purpose while I'm here? Because a lot of us, we don't know what God has called us to do. We don't know that the Lord, he actually chose us for certain things and for specific things. And a lot of us, we just go through our life and we're like, well, Lord, I don't know what to do in my life. I don't know, am I supposed to be doing anything? And to be honest, there's always something that you can do for God. Don't limit yourself and say, well, I'm not talented enough, or I'm not qualified enough, or I can't do anything because I don't have any skills. The Lord will call you to go somewhere and to speak to somebody. Maybe you were just called to be a friend to someone who's lonely. Maybe somebody was lonely and they have a lot of money, they have a lot of power, but they don't have a friend. And maybe you were guided to that person because you have a kind heart and you're a beautiful person. And that love and that kindness in your heart is to help that person have a friend so that they may not be lonely. It could be that, or it could be many things. Maybe you're called to be a teacher. Maybe you're called to help someone start a business. But you don't know that until you actually go and seek God for the answer. So I hope this encourages you guys. I hope you go to the Lord and you ask him, what am I made for? What am I made for? I hope this helps. See you in the next video.